Well, good evening, everybody. It's Chris here from the Whistle Stop Cafe in Mirror, Alberta. And boy, oh boy, do we have a giant version of my head on the screen. Let me fix that. Can I fix that? Is it fixable? Is it just going to be a giant head tonight? Oh, it's because I'm by myself. That's why. Yeah, anyway, we have a great weekly recap. Berta Proud Dad and I will be doing that. So you know what? I'm not going to waste your time just having you stare at me. And let's bring on Lawrence's not too shabby mug, so we can divide your attention.
I'm drinking milk.
I'm drinking poison.
Oh, see, my grandmother used to always drink milk at nighttime, and now I think I'm getting old. I'm drinking milk. That's okay.
Milk is different now.
It is. You know what? I wish I could get it out of the cow and then put it right in my fridge, but apparently that's illegal.
Wait, how do you get it out of the cow again? Wow. Yeah. Well, I think you can. Just so you know, I would be happy to hook you up with somebody that could not sell you milk, but allow you to get the milk from the cow and
sell me milking lessons.
Exactly. Milking lessons. That's right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Take away the fruits of my labor.
Yeah. And you know what? There's a lot of people now who are actually selling shares of their dairy cows to people.
Oh, really?
Because people want whole, real milk. This whole fear propaganda, what is it, listeria stuff, like you're going to die if you drink fresh milk. Yeah, people aren't buying it anymore.
Yeah, no, I'm not buying that. I want it right out of the cow, right out of the udder. Well, utterly. Utterly.
There you go.
How was your week, man? Like last week's show, I had like tons of great comments. People loved watching the show. We went 2 hours and some change minutes.
Yeah.
Tons of great comments from last week's show. And then a lot has happened this week, though, my friend.
Oh, man. What an absolute crazy week. Of course, we had Premier Danielle Smith's announcement about the referendum question, and that just lit the internet on fire. Actually, I think it lit people's hair on fire, and their hair lit the internet on fire. I think this happened. Yeah, I guess that's the top story in the news right now, I think, hey?
It's the top story in the news, and it has actually caused a little bit of division in our own side, and it is unfortunate to watch. But this is the beautiful thing about freedom, right? I know you believe in freedom. I believe in freedom. We have freedom to express our opinions.
Freedom.
For instance, my good friend Brett Wilson, ladies and gentlemen, who is not an Alberta independence guy, was on a podcast this week, and he sent me a clip there today. He said, "Oh, I mentioned you," and I was like, "Uh-oh," but it was actually really good. And he's like, they asked him a question about separatism or independence, and he said, my good friend Berta Proud Dad, he's been talking about it and speaking about it, and he went on to talk about how he doesn't like Jeff Rath and he doesn't like David Parker and all this other stuff. But Brett Wilson, he knows where I stand and I know where he stands, but we're still able to be friends because we could still talk about this stuff, right? And what I've seen this week is people in our own side, not even like that's an example of opposed separatism, and then me as being as an independence folk. On our own side, people who believe in the exact same thing are now bashing heads, and it's like, what are you guys doing? Like honestly, what are you guys absolutely thinking and doing? You're not thinking. You're thinking with a broken heart or a raged heart or whatever that might be, and it's really, really sad to see.
Yeah,
What's up, Steve?
I 100% agree, and I feel it. Hey, Steve, thanks for your support, man. Like, Steve's always here watching our stuff, both our stuff. He's doing some live streaming of his own now. He's nice. Very involved. He's one of the regional leaders with Let's Talk Alberta. He's a Alberta patriot, and just want him to know that we appreciate him. Steve says, got back hours ago from Calgary Slow Roll. Lots of fun, mostly positive support for independence. A few crazy libtards just waved back at them. LOL. Yeah, that's the way to do it. That's the way to be. Yeah. Just wave back. Yeah, they wave that funny one-fingered wave. I don't know what that means. Still, I just wave back.
It's way back, and it is going to heat up, right? You got Pierre Poilievre. He's going to be touring Alberta with his pro Canada movement. Danielle sounds like I don't know how much she's going to do. I have no clue actually. But you have some ministers now, some members of parliament have come out. Pretty much every conservative member of parliament in Alberta now has come out and opposed it. And the thing is I want people, and I don't want to be devil's advocate here, but I'm going to be devil's advocate. And tell me your thoughts on this. Pierre Poilievre would have never come out and done this. I'm going to oppose this in a big campaign, because he could just literally have his summer and continue doing what he's doing, unless they already polled this, right? Unless they already went out and did their research, did some polls, knew how much it was going to hit their base. And the same thing for the members of parliament. They would have done the exact same thing, because that's how parties work, right? They don't come out with a message until polling and figuring out what it is. Keith Wilson is saying we're in around 40%. And I think he's, a very smart man. I love the guy. And he's probably not far off at 40%. But after what I just saw this week, I've talked to people personally that are done. They're moving. They're actually just leaving. They're maybe not done with Alberta independence, but they're done fighting for it. Like I know a couple now that they already had a place in Florida. They're just leaving permanently now, right? Like they lived here for like 8 months and they were down there for the other 4. They're gone, right? And there's other people out there in my comment sections and my DMs doing the same thing, because the division now, and they're watching people literally act like toddlers. And I was accused, this is a month ago now, where I was calling out certain people in the movement and content creators were attacking me for doing it. Now those same content creators have woken up and they're like, thanks for doing that, man. I just wasn't there yet. But it reminds me of a time where I wasn't for Alberta independence. And I was on the other side of it. And I was like, to Chris Scott, yeah, it's never going to happen, right? And now I'm sitting here on a show with him and he's become a really good friend. And that's just the way it is. So people are entitled to their opinion. We just need to understand that at the end of the day, we're all entitled to our opinions. And I just hate seeing certain people in this movement going on podcasts and literally degrading people who have worked really, really hard for Alberta for a very long time.
Yeah, and here, folks, I remember this for the rest of this podcast, and actually for everything. Stop telling yourself that this independence movement has anything to do with politicians. The reason I say that, and I've said this right from the beginning, things like this do not happen because politicians make them happen. They only happen when the people grow the movement so big that the politicians have to get in front of it. That's it. There is nothing else. If the polling suggests that supporting a cause is going to make them lose points in the polls, those politicians will not support that cause. Plain and simple. They're not, these politicians are not advocates for things. They are, what's the word called? They're weathermen. They check to see which direction the wind's blowing, and then they go with it. And the same thing with the CPC and Pierre Poilievre and the Conservative Party of Canada, if you can call it that. I really don't believe they're very conservative. They're always going to be status quo. There has never been a time in Canadian history where a federal party has been able to advocate for resolving the inequities that Western Canada has in Confederation. Never happened, never can. It is not a thing. It won't happen. I said this when Pierre was filling stadiums in Alberta. I was like, my goodness, this is a distraction from what we really need to do. Sure, I like the guy. I think he probably would do a good job, but we need so much more than that, right? So stop pretending that it's about the politicians. Stop pretending that it's about Danielle Smith. If we build it big enough, she will get in front of it, just like any of them would. But at the very least, we have an opportunity to do that. So we'll get into that a little more later, I guess.
Well, it's very simple, right? Like what I heard her say multiple times is 2 things. One is she wants to stay in Canada. And people just get absolutely enraged right away. Well, it's her freedom to do so, and it's absolutely political suicide for her to move from that position. If you can't see that by now, you're absolutely I don't know what you are at that point. I don't want her to say that she wants to be for independence. It's not her job. Her job is to represent Alberta within Canada. That's where we are right now. Her job is that. She needs to go over to Europe and the Middle East and all these other places and represent us and bring jobs here. That's what she has to do, and money, right? She has to work with the federal government. That's her mandate. That's what any premier in this country has to do. That's what you're elected to do. We are not, this is the big thing. There's so many people acting like we are an independent Alberta already. Like nothing has happened. They're like, she has to do this, she has to do this, she has to do that. We still run under the Constitution, even though whether you like it or not, it sucks. I don't like it just as much as everybody else, but there is systems in place. You are right that politicians are not this movement. We are this movement. And that is exactly, why we have to do this. Now, circling back to Pierre Poilievre real quick. Pierre Poilievre cares about Quebec and Ontario, ladies and gentlemen. And we've been saying this, and you know this for a very long time. He does not care about the West. And he's not going to care about the West because he will lose an election. Even, he didn't lose it by much, 200,000 votes last election, but he'll lose it by way more. The thing is the people within the movement, we need to realize one thing. If you want to ever have an independence referendum, forget about the questions used or not used or whatever it might be. You need to vote to want a referendum in October, because then the duty to consult actually has happened with people in Alberta, and it's going to happen with the First Nations. And how does this look? I don't know how this looks, but you could have a minister's file now be on this, right? She could allocate a minister to this. They can allocate resources to this, money, like they can go out there and actually do something because we decided to vote for an independent Alberta. And for people out there who thought that this was going to be easy, I also don't know what to tell you, because it's never going to be easy when you're doing something of this magnitude.
Oh yeah, there's definitely going to be more like this. They're going to put roadblocks up. The politicians are going to do the politician thing, and if people keep losing focus and getting off on these tangents with politicians, we got to do this, we got to do that, it's never going to happen. Keep your freaking eyes on the prize. Talk to people around you. Change hearts, change minds. Build that level of support up, and the politicians will fall in place naturally. It's just the way it goes. Mm-hmm. Now, did I tell you that we had a guest tonight? Yeah, I did, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of the other things that happened this week. I attended a rally in Edmonton at the Legislature with Reid Salmon. So for those of you who don't know Reid, he's the guy that did the Sweet Home Alberta. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Have you seen it? Yeah, it was all over the place there for a little while. Great song. He's a up and coming musician, super talented guy, but he's also got a really big heart. And something happened to Reid, kind of similar to what happened to us, Lawrence, is he saw something that he couldn't unsee, and he became an advocate. And what he became an advocate for was animals and animal welfare. And now, like, he's really in the thick of it, and he's organizing rallies, and he's trying to get some positive change made so that some of these things are dealt with. So I figured, hey, we should have him on and talk about some of this stuff. And he agreed to do that. So yeah, we got Reid Salmon tonight, folks.
Awesome. That's pretty wicked. I love that.
Oh, and Carla says, Reid's great. He just rescued another dog today. So yeah.
I love that. That's awesome, man. Yeah, that's really cool.
So let's bring him on.
Perfect.
Where are you? There you are. Hey, Reid, how's it going? Can you hear me?
I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Right on.
I got echoes from Reid.
What's going on there?
How about now?
Yeah.
So Just one second. Let me see if I can. How about now? Is that better?
I'm good.
No
Reid,
more
are you
echo?
good? Reid, can you hear? Can't hear Reid now.
Uh-oh. What's going on here?
I love the live shows. They're great.
Can you hear me now, Reid? Reid cannot hear us. Unmute mic. There you go. Can you hear me now?
Reid can't hear you. Reid's gone. Reid's
How about
back.
now?
Hello, Reid.
Not sure what's going on.
I don't know. I'll let you guys sort that out.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I got you.
Still echoey or what?
Echoes
I
back.
can hear myself. Chat, can you guys hear the echo?
Why do we have
Check
such
one,
a
two,
weird
check
echo?
1, 2.
That's really weird.
Because I can deal with the echo if the chat can't hear the echo, but they can hear the echo.
Do you want me to try on my phone instead of my computer? Maybe?
Yeah. Try logging in on your phone and see how that goes.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Actually,
All
hold
right,
it,
buddy.
hold
Okay.
it.
Oh,
I don't hear an echo anymore.
cancellation. One
No, you're
second.
good?
I'm good.
Oh,
I'm good.
Oh, this is perfect.
We're
Awesome.
right on. Here we go.
Yeah, see, that's why we do sound checks before, but we never do sound checks before.
Join us next week on the show where we learn how to get rid of the echo on the show in real time. Oh, wait, we just did that.
Yeah,
Yep.
So the universe planned that for something. I don't know what, but
Yeah.
yeah.
There we go. Well, some more people needed to get on to hear what you had to say. So, Reed, I was with you in Edmonton on Saturday, and you shared some stuff about what you've been doing in the past few months, and it really drove home a point that I've been trying to make to people, and that is there's a lot of people that have causes, and their causes often interfere with or kind of set aside what they want to do with their life. And you are a prime example of that. I mean, you got some fantastic music out. You're absolutely killing it with gigs, and you're all over the place. And now you're devoting a lot of time to a cause that's really important to you. So I was just wondering if maybe you want to just introduce yourself and tell people what you're up to, and then we'll dig into it.
Absolutely. Yeah. My name is Reed Salmon. I am from Red Deer, Alberta. I started my music journey, I guess, when I was probably 21. I was playing guitar since I was a kid, about 11 years old. Started to sing when I was 20, and then taught myself to write some music, and just kind of playing cover songs and things like that. It was more of a hobby. But then I really found like writing was a really it was like a good outlet for me to get things out. Like I love writing, even if like my thoughts like on paper, like I just had to get them down. And then I just, the first few songs that I wrote were definitely shitty, but we worked around the bugs, and I met some people, and you know how it goes, just working towards bigger things and trying to get it done. And then Sweet Home Alberta was one that I had in my back pocket for a while. I'm a very proud Albertan for sure. I'm right with you guys the whole way. And I actually started writing it, I think, when I was like 18, before I even like sang. I just like, me and my buddy used to piss around with Sweet Home Alabama and fiddle with the lyrics. And then one day I was like, I'm going to go record this. Like, I bet, you know what? I bet I could do something cool with this song. And we did the music video. And to this day, it's been my most streamed song.
Nice.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
And then,
awesome.
that's for the music, for the animals. My dogs have been my best friends since I was very young. I've always had a deep connection with animals. I'm not vegan or anything like that, but for me, it's not so much the killing, it's the suffering. It's the unnecessary suffering for me. And, like I've definitely had my eyes opened up. A third eye has opened since I've started this journey, looking at other animals in a different light as well. But yeah, just for anyone who, isn't sure, I'm not vegan, so don't come at me, right?
Well, that's a good thing. I was about to exit you out of the show. I love everything you're doing with the animals and everything, but when it comes to vegan, I just don't trust the man who doesn't eat meat.
Well, you know what? I have nothing against vegans at all, but the truth of the matter is, and this is the thing that we have to talk about, is it's the truth. It's not what you want to believe, your opinion. It's what's true. And if I don't eat the steak, you will. The cow still dies.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, I'm sorry to tell the vegans, I have a lot of vegan supporters, and, if you're a vegan, I support you absolutely. The choice that you made to do that, but you're not actually saving an animal by being vegan. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
if we didn't need them, they wouldn't be born in the first place.
And that's the thing. And something like everyone has to realize, everyone's getting crazy, and it's I think veganism, for a lot of people, it's very self-righteous. I'll be honest, it is. And I look around, and it's like, you guys know there's a food chain, right? Like, what does your dog and cat eat?
Mm-hmm.
Are they vegan too? Because I doubt it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's more about being a realist, and it's like, the unnecessary suffering, man. I couldn't even watch movies when I was a kid if the dog got kicked or killed or anything. It tore me apart, right? Like
same thing. I'm in the exact same boat. I have a big soft spot. Both of my dogs are rescues, and so is my cat.
Oh,
right?
Awesome.
Is we've taken in rescues and we're giving them really good lives and made sure they're taken care of and being a loving home, right? And so I think a lot of people even that watch the show, you know, have animals and they have a soft spot for their animals as well. And people that go out of their way to save rescues, you know, they're needed in society 100%.
Well, and it's funny too, man, because like I lean more conservative than anything, absolutely, quite a bit more conservative, and it's just funny when people, you know, when I started this advocacy journey and they were shocked that I was a conservative animal activist, and it's like, you guys, that's not political.
No,
You know,
that's
not
humanity.
That's human. That's what, you know, that's the law of nature. That's like in your heart, man. It's like, I don't know why everyone thinks that you have to be liberal to give a shit, because you don't. It's ridiculous.
You're right.
Yeah, you
well,
don't give a shit about
there's
the
lots
law.
of activism.
Yeah.
There's lots of activism on the conservative side, and there's
Tons.
human rights activists over here. There's people over here. There's like I have a really good friend. He's gay, right? And he's a conservative. And you know what? It's like there's this thing, you can't be gay and conservative, and you know, I have more than one conservative gay friend out there, and it's just one of those labels. Like they politicize everything. Everything has to have some sort of politicization.
It's virtue signaling. It's you have to, you know, and when you try to please everybody, you actually lose potency in any message you're trying to project. Like,
100%.
right? And that's the thing. Like, it's you can care about more than one thing for sure, but you should not minimize how much you care about this one because of this one. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, when you care about everything and the diversity and everyone matters and this and that, except, you know, the straight white guy, then where are we, right?
Yeah,
And
that's a good
it's
point.
like the same, like you said, I have a gay uncle. He passed now. He was old, but yeah, man, like we went on vacation at his house in Mexico. Like, be gay. I don't give a shit if you're gay.
Nope.
Whatever.
Just treat your animals good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you're not touching kids or animals, I don't give a shit what you do.
100%. I'm putting that on a shirt.
Yeah, there you
That'd
go.
be good. That's gonna be a good shirt.
Royalties for that.
Yeah,
Speaking of which,
I'll hook you up.
Speaking of shirts, Lawrence, hey, have you got some new stuff over there? Where do people go to find your stuff? I saw some. Where is that?
Music or
getting
clothing?
ready? He's massaging his voice. Yeah, here comes.
BertaProudDad.com.
Oh, that's
There you
stuff.
go.
Yeah,
there you
guys,
go, folks.
BertaProudDad.com. Grab your Alberta First Ottawa Last stuff, all your Alberta independence gear, and wear your opinion on your sleeve, because it's absolutely important to show who you are in society today. As they're waving their flags in our faces and making us conform to them, we can just walk around with what we believe in as well, and two can play that game. So appreciate everybody who supports the channel every single day. You guys are absolutely awesome, and thanks, Chris, for that little plug. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. I just want to mention that I love it when I see people wearing your stuff. Everywhere I go, I'm like, oh yeah, where'd you get that shirt? And then I know we're friends too, right? So that's pretty cool, wearing your opinion on your sleeve. So Reed, how did you go from emerging country / rock superstar, which I'm sure you will be someday, to spending so much time and taking so many lumps on this very steep learning curve of animal welfare advocacy?
So how it began was in 2022. I was thinking it was 2022. I just thought to myself, you know, I would love to do a fundraiser, like a live music fundraiser for the animals in some way. And I didn't have any relationships with any animal rescues at the time. And this was only 4 years ago. Really, this all happened very quick. And you know, we're here in Sylvan Lake, where I'm from. There's a lot of bars on Main Street, as you guys have probably seen. And I partnered up with one of the local bars. And I said, hey, I want to do an animal fundraiser, you know, a ticketed at the door fundraiser to raise money for one of the local animal shelters. It was just like, I just want to give back using my voice in that way. And it was just always something in the back of my mind, like if I could do that, like support a cause. Like I literally, when I was a kid, you know, like we all do arts and crafts in elementary school, and we forget about it, but my mom kept everything, right? And it was just a couple of years ago, like, you know, maybe 2 years after I started this, and she pulled out a bunch of shit and she goes, look what I found. And it was when I was 8 years old, I wrote this thing, and it was like my introduction to my classmates. My name's Reed. I'm this, I'm that. And it said, when I grow up, I want to save animals. And like, I don't remember seeing that or writing that. I mean, and it's just funny because I'm thinking back and I'm like, well, I do remember a time where I wanted to be a veterinarian. And but then I got told about all the animals I would have to kill, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do that, right? And but anyways, long story short, it just was like always instilled in me. I just didn't realize, like, it's funny how some things from childhood follow you into your adulthood, right? And it's like you always held true to your who you were. Like I always tell people, I'm like, if you're having an identity crisis, just go back to when you were a kid, and you might find yourself again, right?
Oh,
And
that's smart.
yeah, if you can, if you can go back to that, I mean, there has to be an ego death in your adulthood and everything, and a lot of people never have that, which sucks because I don't like talking to those guys. but
Yeah.
but yeah, so long story short, I we did the fundraiser, and one of the most notable animal rescues in central Alberta that I knew about was Saving Grace, which you probably have heard of, Chris.
Well, we've had a bunch of accidental adoptions from them.
There you go, right? Because they're really close to you too. They're not far from where you live, and so yeah, we did the fundraiser. We did $1,700 in 2 hours, just an acoustic fundraiser. It's pretty good for the first one. And I drove out to deliver the check. And when I got there, they were like, "Wow, this is like a substantial amount of money. Like, could we get a picture of you with one of our in-house dogs, like one of the dogs that they had in shelter?" And I said, "Yeah, absolutely. Like, no problem. Like, we can get a picture outside." And like I'm known locally for music, but like, I'm not like huge. It's a very saturated market, so it's like the odd person around might know about my music and whatever. But I think the girl that I was delivering the check to did know about it, so she was like, "Hey, it'd be cool to get a picture of you with one of our dogs."
Nice.
So she brought the dog out, and the dog was wearing a cone, and it had a freshly amputated leg and a bunch of road rash. And I'm like, "Oh no, like fuck, I didn't plan on doing this today. Like I didn't want to like see that on a hot sunny summer day, right?" Because I don't forget, I was still ignorant and oblivious to what I advocate for now. I didn't know how the in depth of it. So I said, "What happened to her?" And she said her and her sibling, her litter mate, were thrown out of a moving vehicle on purpose. And I was just like in disbelief that someone could do this. Like I'm like, you hear the stories and you imagine the things, but I'm like, there's no way that this is happening near where I live. Like who did this? Like I'm raging now. I'm like, who did this, or where did this happen? And she said, "Where do you think?" I'm like, "Well, I have no idea. That's why I'm asking. I don't know." She says, "Well, the reserve, on the reserve."
Yeah.
And I said, "What? Like what reserve?" And she told me, the one north of Pinocchio there, Mascochise. And I was like, "Holy shit, man, really?" She's like, "This happens all the time." I'm like, "This happens all the time?" Like, I'm telling you, I was like in disbelief. And I knew the term res dog, but I thought res dog was like, we were all told that res dogs were dogs that got dumped on reserves and abandoned by people. They dumped them on the reserves, and that was the whole narrative that they kept pushing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, really, is that right? So I started pushing a bit, and I started advocating a little bit online, and the animal rescues were cautioning me on my terminology because I was saying reserve. They were saying, "Hey, just so it's rooted in respect, maybe use the term target community." And I'm like, "What? Why? Why are we hiding this? Like, what the fuck? Like, no wonder I didn't know about this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like no wonder. Like I was 20. Well, I would have been 24 or 23 at the time, and it's like right in my backyard, and I didn't know this was happening. Like, what the hell, you guys? So anyway, I think it was a week that I did the target community thing. I was like, "Nah, that's bullshit. I'm not doing that." And then the following year was the first time that I was boots on the ground. It was minus 50, and I was laying on my couch. I told this story yesterday. You probably heard, Chris. And it was minus 50, and my truck wouldn't even start. And I was sitting there warm, cozy, thinking about all the res dogs. And I'm like, man, I felt so guilty. I felt so guilty. And I needed to do something. And this lady, this post was sent to me of this lady who had only a couple followers. And she was putting out a plea like, we need to help these dogs. We need to get straw bales and all this stuff. And I'm like, that's what I was thinking, like straw bales. Like, all the horse people and farm people use straw for farm animals, of course, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, we need to get a fundraiser going. We need to get as many bales as we can. And I'm thinking, I don't know, we might raise $1,000. Get some bales, go out there and build huts for res dogs, which at the time I thought were just stray dogs in a field in the woods. Like I'm picturing just setting these up in the field and then dogs would find them, right? That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. And so we started the fundraiser. Long story short, in 3 days we did $9,000. I think we did
Wow.
1,900 straw bales. I had 3 trailers going out west of Rocky, and I had 3 trailers going to Massachusetts. And it was
Nice.
just nonstop going as much as we could. But the first time that I went on the ground, the first day that we did this, my best friend was pulling one of the trailers for me, and we were heading out. And one of the rescues replied to my post and said, "Who's letting you in?" And I said, "Well, I'm not asking. I'm going." She said, "Okay, well, you can't do that, so we will meet you there." I'm like, "Meet me there. I'm going." So good. We'll see you there.
Wow.
We went in, and yeah, to my surprise, we were not building shelters for stray dogs. We were building them for people's pets who don't allow them to come in the house when it's minus 50,
Wow.
with no shelters, with no adequate anything. And she knocks on the door, and I looked at my best friend, like, what the hell's going on here? Like, there's this dog sitting there alternating his paws because they're freezing.
Mm-hmm.
And we keep them all on the ground at the same time. That's how cold it is. And the kid opened the door, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, I'm about to snap. And I don't know what was exchanged in the conversation. She said, "Yeah, we're good to go." Gives me the thumbs. So we started loading bales and building our makeshift hut. And she comes over, and I'm not going to give her the satisfaction on here because we don't speak anymore. But she came over to me, and I said, "What the hell is this?" She's like, we don't want to offend." I'm like, "Offend what? I'm fucking offended
Yeah.
right now. Offend what? Right?" That's how this journey began. I never looked back since. It's been a lot of advocacy. It's been a lot of hate on my behalf because I have not been kissing ass to project this message. I've been showing the truth and the message that I came out a little hardcore in the beginning. I will admit I was insensitive for sure. I was blinded by rage, and I didn't care about how and why this is happening, about the history. I just cared that it was happening now while I'm here, and it needs to be fixed now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because I deeply empathize with these animals, and it just like it hurts me. I can feel their pain. I have to really distract myself from it. Like, I got to go out and I have a lot of hobbies. I'm an outdoorsy person, do a lot of camping, dirt biking, things like that. So in the beginning, I'm getting better at it, but in the beginning I would feel guilty for enjoying myself.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird. I felt guilty for not suffering next to them. And this is just in a very short period of time. Like, I know animal rescuers who have been doing this for decades, and those are the ones who say, "Reed, keep going. You've made it further than anyone we've ever seen because the race card does not bother me. I don't give a shit. I'm not a racist. I have plenty of Indigenous friends. I don't need to prove to you that I'm not racist." I was insensitive in the beginning, absolutely. I've said some off the cuff shit. Oh yeah, for sure. But now I've realized that getting angry is and fighting fire with fire just causes fire. I think we all.
Do you experience any pushback when you're going on to these communities at all?
I personally haven't. There's been a lot of great support, actually.
Good.
There's a lot of sorry, just one sec.
Yeah.
Like when I take straw bales out, after that winter, I've done it the last 3 winters, and very grateful.
Good.
People are very grateful. Yeah, but the thing about it is there is a major lack of education for the animal welfare. Major lack. Like they're not looking at them like there's a soul behind those furry eyes. They're still objects and considered property, and that's where you see the dogs that are chained up. And like I could tell you stories, like we were in Saskatchewan, northern Saskatchewan this winter, and I went up there with a trailer. We had a plan to get some dogs off chains, and I'll say it publicly because I have no shame. I ain't fucking asking, right? I ain't asking. I'll ask once. If you say no and you go back in your house, I'm taking your dog.
Yeah.
Like that's what happened today. We'll talk about that after. It's a pretty cool story that happened. It actually happened at a good time because this interview. But yeah, the whole point of the message is animal welfare laws are not applied to reserves. They do things differently out there. That's what I'm told by our CMP. So when we call these cases in, I remember my first year we called a case in out on Cheese, and there was a pit bull with short hair. We know that, and it was minus 50, man, and it had no shelter on a chain, big thick chain. It's freezing, man, and we're like I would have taken that dog off its chain, but it looked pretty sketchy. I probably would have got ripped apart.
Yeah.
So we called our CMP, and they came and checked it out the next day, and they said, "Yep, it had food and water. It was good." We're like, "No, it's not good. This isn't good. What do you mean this is good?" That's the problem with the RCMP. A lot of them is it's just a job to them. They don't actually give a shit. They're just following their book. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's brutal, man. That's that's absolutely I've heard that, and not only with human cases or dog cases, it's with like other things that happen on the reserve too. The RCMP, that's their place. They can do whatever they want, and but animal abuse is animal abuse, right? No matter who you are and where it's happening, and it's pretty wild. And I've been on lots of reserves, so I know exactly what you're talking about when it comes to being a res dog. I used to be a freight train conductor, and we used to roll through Indian reservations, and you'd see the res dogs everywhere, right, on the reserve. And they're outside dogs, and that's what they do. They're and malnourished. A ton of them are malnourished. So it's if and nobody in the chat has seen this, like it does exist. It is there.
It is very there, and like I have like the thing too is like when I first started, like I definitely was casting blame on the communities for sure. And recently, quite recently, I've done my research, and I've found a newfound compassion for the people after going out there and being with them. And man, the dogs aren't just the ones suffering, right? The people are suffering too. But the problem is we're justifying suffering through suffering, right? Yep. People always tell me like, what about the people? And I'm like, yeah, I know they're suffering too, but I'm an animal activist, so I need to keep my message potent for the animals. Otherwise, they will be forgotten about again, right? They don't have a voice like the people do, right? When if you chain up a person, they can yell for help. Guy walks by, "Hey man, can you get me off this chain? I'm freezing." A dog just gets to whimper and cry, and that language barrier stops anyone from doing what's right.
Yeah,
and it's so prevalent across this country, man. Like, and I know that because in my 3 years of advocacy, I have partnered with a lot of rescues across this country. I don't get pictures. Like, that's the thing. There's animal rescues that partner in, they might partner in 1 or 2 communities, and that's what they get to see. So I get them coming at me, "Our community's doing so great, and Reed, you're a racist, and you're hating, they're not all like this." And I'm like, you know what, you guys? You are working in 1 or 2 communities. I have 20 different animal rescues sending me photos and cases from 50 communities.
Yeah.
Okay? I have had to make Facebook posts on more than one occasion, posting the RCMP detachment phone number, the case, the file in real time when I was in California in February, and there was a guy running around blowing dogs in half with a shotgun because to protect the children. He's running around blowing people's dogs in half, not just strays, people's pets, right?
Wow.
And in real time, we phoned. I called, everyone else called. I think they must have got 100 calls. They had to shut the line down. And luckily, I had an RCMP contact who does give a shit in Saskatchewan. And she made something happen. He did get arrested, but not for animal cruelty. He got arrested because he was on a firearms ban. That's why. So the dogs were forgotten about again. And in Section 88, and I just found this out last week, which I should have known this before. I can't believe I didn't know this. I was taking their word for it, man. When they say the laws are different, I was just taking their word for it, and that's what everyone says. Section 88 of the Indian Act clearly states that animal welfare laws apply the exact same on reserves as they do in the province of Alberta. So someone's not doing their job.
Yeah, absolutely.
That happened today, not on the reserve. Quickly, I'll just tell you guys. I was weed whacking out here, enjoying the sun, and this guy messaged me. Actually, do you guys mind if I read the message?
Go ahead.
Sure, but before you do that, I just want to take a real quick moment to say thank you to some really nice comments. So Evan says, 3 brain cells total between the Grifter gang. Thank you very much, Evan. Please, folks,
thanks, Evan.
Let Evan know that we appreciate him being here, and drop a comment on his comment.
Evan,
love you, Evan.
Another one is from Uncle Chico. This is an interesting one. Special thank you to Mr. Chris Scott. Sir, you're amazing, Albertan. Thank you very much. Thank you for everything you've done for all Canadians. I'm one of the truckers who travel to Ottawa. Thank you very much for the super chat. That's new to me, but it's pretty cool to see that kind of message, and I really appreciate it. That was a really good time being out there advocating for change.
Yeah, and Chris and I didn't even run into each other when we were there.
That's why
we walked by each other.
Insane.
But it is insane.
But
that's okay. Yeah, I was in Ottawa. Yeah, that's okay though, Chris, because our love that for not each other flourished in other avenues, and nature and life brought us together.
Yeah,
Like this.
like
That's awesome.
like the udders, like the milking.
Yeah.
Like we started the show, the milking of the udders.
Yeah, there you go. Lovely. Lovely. I think
Anyway,
that actually goes somewhere else, and I'm waiting for the comments now. It's going to be horrible, but
It's
Yeah.
Lawrence, right? Sorry, we didn't even. I didn't even-
yeah.
oh
it's
yeah,
Lawrence,
sorry, guys.
No, that's okay. No,
That's
no.
okay.
I just
Chris does this
assume
to me
everybody
all the
knows
time.
everybody.
Well, I've been watching you for a while, Lawrence. I follow you. I've been watching all your guys' stuff. I follow Big Red. I follow you guys.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
Rise of Alberta for sure. That's like most of my page, either animal welfare or this, Alberta.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah. So what happened today? I'm
today,
curious to hear that.
Yeah, this was crazy, man. It was wild. I get a text, and this isn't the first time this has happened. Where I've had to do bylaws job for them. It's been a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, this is kind of strange, but I'm just curious if you know anybody that would take in a dog, or if you were able to point me in the right direction to get some help. I'm working on a site out by Rimbey. There is a beautiful lab running around here, beyond friendly. Just hanging out watching us work. We had the owner pull up today and beat the living hell out of this poor dog in front of us. We intervened, but he made it clear that the dog would have a bullet in his head if it came back to the site. Of course, he is back now, and we have called bylaw, but they said there is nothing they can do. I have never been in a situation like this, and I'm unsure if there is anybody I could call to help. And I said, what is your phone number? And he sent it, and I called him, and it was about a 40-minute drive. I drove up there. I called him. I said, hey, put the dog in your truck, hide him somewhere. If the guy comes back, tell him you don't know where the dog is, and I'll be there as soon as I can. And he said, awesome, man, thank you. And he's like, by the way, I just don't want to have any trouble. I'm like, I don't call the police, man. I was like, there's going to be no trouble. I don't even know your name. I do know his name because he messaged me on Facebook, but I don't know your name. So I went up there and loaded up the dog in a big kennel in my box in my truck. And I said, do you know which way he took off? Because I wanted to know the name of this guy. I want to expose him. That's what I do. I expose the people that the bylaw, the rescues, and everybody else won't expose. Because if they're not going to be held accountable, I will hold them accountable, and the public will know that you're a piece of shit.
Yep.
And I drove around. I did find out where he lives. I don't know his full name, but I will find out. And I have his dog right now, and he's going to a sanctuary tomorrow, and he is safe. So, success story.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you.
That is a really good story. That's because who knows what he's done to that dog before, right?
100%. And when I went to go pick him up, he cowered really quickly. So it just showed that he was, it wasn't the first time. And it just reinforced my message that, we're paying these law enforcement bylaw SPCA to do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing nothing. Not just on the reserve.
Unless a chicken sneezes and then they
Yeah.
go in and they murder them all.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. 100%. Because there's a puppet master and they're the puppets. We know that.
Yeah.
And, that's why I don't shame, like, I can be an asshole for sure. But like even yesterday, I was like, you know what? Like, there are RCMP officers who care. And I know that there are certain policies that they have to follow. Otherwise, they will lose their job. I know that. But guys, it's in the fucking Indian Act. It is, It says right there. So it's an obstruction of justice for you not to do your job.
Yeah.
And to serve and protect, like you swore on the oath or whatever the hell you did when you got your badge. We got too many people driving around unqualified to do their job, and I don't know if it's fear, uncertainty, misguided
Cancel culture. That's what it is. It's
it is,
culture.
and that's what I said yesterday at the thing. I said there's a hard truth that we need to all talk about, and white guilt is real, 100%. It is, and today isn't relevant to that because it didn't happen on the reserve. But for the ones that do happen on the reserve, all the calls that we make to go out there, the reason that everybody just keeps feeding the abusers dogs and catering to them, no matter how emaciated or broken or torn down or freezing or burned or anything that this dog is abused, being called a racist hurts more than living with the pain of not saving that animal for a lot of people. And that's bullshit, man.
Yeah.
I understand there's the fear factor, You know, you don't know. Like, I understand that not everyone's a vigilante. Like, I understand that, you know, people are worried. Like, if I go take that dog, is someone going to come out and hurt me? Like, I totally get that. I do. So that's why we should be able to call the law enforcement who does take care of that.
100%.
But then they don't. So now what the hell are we doing? There's no protection for them, man. And that was the whole point of the message. In a nutshell, we want equal accountability for all pet owners. Sorry, we want everyone held to the same moral standard for all pet owners. Equal accountability for all the abusers in this country, within the borders of Canada, within the borders of Alberta, eliminating race, culture, ideology, religion, personal hardship, or geographical location as any form of excuse or justification for this cruelty and barbarism to continue. It's absolute garbage, and it's time for a shift. We know how and why we got here, 100%, and I know that it is not the people's fault. Yes, we can hold individual people accountable for their own pets, but it is not their fault this crisis exists. That goes way back to the federal government, and they're the ones that need to come in and fix it.
Well, we have actually Supreme Court rulings. Have you ever heard of the Gladue principle?
I have, but I actually had it sent to me recently, but I didn't look into it.
So basically, the courts are through Supreme Court ruling, they're actually directed to give Indigenous people lesser sentences for the same crimes, taking into account generational trauma. So
thank you for sharing that with me.
A violent crime, and the normal sentence would be 5, 7, 8 years, whatever. Well, the Gladue principle is applied, and they will get 2, or maybe they'll just get probation or something like that, because you know they're I don't know, it's some sort of guilt for something that hasn't happened. Like you know what I mean, that the current people aren't responsible for. And so that is a thing in Canada.
It's not only that though, Chris. They have that, but look into this as well. You can actually go to a special healing lodge prison, not an actual penitentiary. You go to your own little.
They were supposed to build in Kamloops, right? That one.
I'm not sure if there's one. I don't know anything like about that, but I know that people can look this up too. They go and they qualify to go to a healing lodge. So it's not a prison. It's like a lodge where it's more open and all this other stuff. So there's that as well. And when it comes down to generational trauma, so I talk about this quite a bit. So I'm an addict in recovery, right? 5.5 years sober.
Congrats, man.
And in my family, there's a whole chain of addiction, right?
It's real.
And it worked really, really hard. I worked really, really hard to break that chain. And I'm not blaming my parents. I'm not blaming my grandparents or my great-grandparents or my cousins or my uncles or anything else. I sniffed the cocaine. I put it down my throat. I became an addict, and only I can fix it.
100%.
And that's called accountability. And when I went to rehab, we learned all about that, because one major thing of an addict is what we do is we point fingers at everybody else, and it's everybody else's fault why you have a shitty life and why all this happened, when in all reality, you're the one that did everything to you. So
100%, man. That's first of all, congrats. That's awesome, dude.
Thanks,
and like, I will never discredit intergenerational trauma. It is 100% real. It's undeniable. There's no way that a crisis this big exists any other way. And it is real. And I do feel wholeheartedly for the people. So my new angle is, like, if you are severely traumatized and you are, dealing with mental illness and suffering, and that is the reason that you're inflicting and secondhand suffering onto the being, that the living life form that you're supposed to be providing care for, there needs to be somebody with the authority who can go in and intervene and remove that from their care. Like, if you are a 5-year-old child, I would never expect you to provide adequate care for anything. And if you're an adult with the IQ, and I'm not saying that they're all, they're not, but there are a lot, because of, it's just the truth. It's the meth addiction, the fetal alcohol syndrome, there's so many things that trickle down for this thing. And like one thing that I was educated on, like the dogs are a symptom of a much bigger thing. And it's true. There's so many arms, and it's like the dogs are at the very bottom of this. No one gives a shit about them because the people are suffering too.
Yeah.
And it's like, I understand that, but like, okay, if that's the case, then let animal activists and rescues come in and remove the ones that cannot ask for help. we can see clearly that they need help. They need to be removed. And there are people in these communities who agree. And they are just too scared to say anything out loud because they might become a target. They might get kicked out of their own community. Like, seriously, it's corrupt. It's if they sell out their community for anything, cruelty, neglect, corruption, they could either get seriously injured or harmed or booted out of the reserve. And that's the fear that's in them. And one of the big reasons that this is continuing and why somebody from the outside has to speak on it, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah.
So what are you, what's your plan? Like, where do you want to go from here? What do you want to accomplish?
So I started a nonprofit. We launched it in May of last year using my name. I used the Reed Salmon Foundation. And the reason I did that was I had an idea in my head. Like if my music ever did well, people would look up my music and then maybe they'd find the foundation. It would just lead them to the dogs. And a lot of people, a lot of haters are like, oh, he used his name because this is a whole ego thing for him. And I'm like, no, actually it was actually a well thought out tactic for me. Something happened that I didn't know would happen. I didn't even think of it. I should have known. But by using my name, I earned the trust of a lot of people. I earned the trust. They knew the money was coming right to me. And I'm very transparent with where their money goes. There's a lot of places they send it and they don't know what's happening with it. Like I could tell you, like animal rescues are absolutely using it for the animals, 100%. They have to pay staff, they have to pay fuel, they have to pay insurance, they have to keep the lights on. There's so many variables. But I hated using my name. I hated using my name, hearing it all the time. Number one, my last name is a fish, so it sounded weird for a dog thing. It sounded weird. So I wanted to change it. And my mom said, well, don't change it. Like you have like so many trusting donors that are sending money to your foundation for the animals. I was like, okay, well, if I can't change it, I'm going to start a second organization. So right now we are in the midst of building a second organization. It is not an animal rescue. It is going to be an animal rescue system, kind of like a database. It's going to be an advocacy center. And we're going, instead of putting our money towards vet bills and things like that, we're going to provide grants for other rescues, but we're also going to put money towards lawyers and shit because we want to fight this.
Nice.
We want to take the money. We want to hit the root that no one has hit. And we just want, if we could get all the animals in this country, like the ultimate goal, if we could get dogs recognized as sentient beings, then all the other stuff is like, well, that's not okay for a sentient being. You can't pour hot oil or hot boiling water or hack up a sentient being with a machete. If we remove the property and the object from their label and replace it with sentient, then they become the equality with us. And I think, like, I have some things I'm like, I would like to ban culls. I would like to ban tethering. I would like to ban, obvious things, starving, things like that. But if we just make them sentient, then that all falls under that umbrella. And then the second thing is, I want these same exact laws to apply in the places where the invisible borders are creating lawless societies. Because, like, it's bullshit, man. Right?
100%. I agree.
Reed, I want to point something out here. There's, our names mean something. And I believe God has a big plan for you, bigger than you might even know. I saw this a little while ago, something about salmon when I was in British Columbia at a rally for the mandates or something like that. Check this out.
Sweet.
So in First Nations lore, a salmon is a sacred symbol of resilience, regeneration, and self-sacrifice.
Wow.
So the gift of life. According to tradition, salmon are immortal beings who don disguises as a fish and travel upstream to feed the people each year. So your name literally means somebody who sacrifices their own time, effort, and livelihood in some cases to sustain and help other people. So
that's amazing, man. Thank you for sharing that. That's super cool. I hope my mom's watching right now.
Yeah, that's you, buddy.
Sweet. That's super cool. Yeah, and like I get a lot of people. They're like, "Are you sure you're not Indigenous? Like you could totally squash this race card like salmon." I'm like, "No, my salmons came from England. I know that for sure."
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, Chris, I just wanted to echo what you were saying there. Man, it's funny when we get like a lot of time. Like I get called racist. I get called a colonizer. I get called all this shit, and it's like the same brush that they tell me not to paint them with the same brush is the same brush they're painting all us white people with.
100%.
I didn't colonize this country, man. My grandparents didn't. Like like that. Just because I'm white, Caucasian, that's is that not covert racism? Like I don't know. Like I've been told that covert racism or reverse racism isn't real, and I'm like, well, that's funny because isn't the world population only like 8% white people? Like we are the minority technically, if that's
Yeah.
true.
100%.
Yeah, it's I just stopped giving them any sort of weight, right?
Yeah.
And I always consider the messenger. You know, I say a lot about you know, because I am First Nations. I'm white. I have a status card. I have all that. My daughter's a First Nations.
Sweet.
But the thing is, can I just call myself albino First Nation? Like,
Yeah.
can I just do that? Like, the thing is you know, there's pieces of shit in every race, and this is what I say. Every race, color, creed, religion, doesn't matter what it is, there's pieces of garbage in every single one of them. And there's
100%.
great people in every single one of them. Like there's East Indians and Muslims out there that are doing great things as well.
Fantastic.
And the thing is there's pieces of garbage in all of them. And those pieces of garbage are the ones that turn around and call you a racist because the color of your skin. So they think it's, you know, it's not going to reflect on them, and they're projecting their own hate and anger onto other people by doing that. That's all
They're
doing.
projecting and they're deflecting at the same time.
Absolutely.
And it's funny you brought that up, man. There's actually an East Indian RCMP officer from Manitoba who has been messaging me and giving me kudos for saying the things that he wishes he could say
Love that.
about the dogs. And I'm like, man, like that is so awesome to see. Like it just like the bullying that I've taken on. Like I've never been bullied before. Like I was like, holy shit, like this does hurt. Like damn it, right? And getting all this flack. Like in January or in March 2025, there was a really big incident. We pulled 105 dogs out of a community, and there was a couple comments that I replied to that were, you know, could be considered racist. I've never actually said anything racist. I know I haven't. I'm not racist. I would never do that. They just took them as racist. They took the context out of my comment and flipped it to match their narrative.
Yep.
And then they all used it as ammo against me, and it blew up. And I'm like the comment was literally the 100% symbol.
Mm-hmm.
It was a dog cull, and like I don't care to tell you guys this because it's the truth. The guy posted a comment. It was a dog cull. If you guys don't know what that means, it means, well, you know, ostrich cull, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a dog cull happening. We went and saved all these dogs from northern Saskatchewan, and the guy said, I think we should join in, only the targets are different. And I said 100. And that was not intended to be racist. It was totally intended to be like directed towards the people shooting the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
That had nothing to do with race.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been a Dutch guy. It could have been a German guy. It could have been an English guy. It had nothing to do with that.
It's their easy way out. And basically, like, you know, like you say, like, oh, it hurts. Like, you've never been bullied. Me too, right? Growing up, I was never bullied. Nothing really like that ever happened to me. I actually hated bullies, right? I couldn't
100%.
stand bullies growing up. But the thing is when you come into the internet world and you start posting things, no matter what it is, there's always losers out there who literally have low self-esteem. And the only way they can build that self-esteem up is doing it on here.
100%.
And it took me a good solid year. And it wasn't until the Freedom Convoy happened and all the attacks I got during that I just became immune to it. Right.
Yeah.
So now I get death threats. You know, they kind of subsided a little bit. So something's probably going to happen soon. But I used to get them every day. And literally, like, now I wake up in the morning. Oh, look at that. AJ 1475000 hashtag wants to kill me. Awesome.
Who cares?
Go make a coffee, right? Or before, the first one I ever got was, holy shit, calling the RCMP, losing my mind, right? Like Snap Show and everything else. And now it's just you this social media thing is weird because I read all the comments as they're coming in.
Yeah.
And the thing is there's lots of positive ones, and there's ones that you're just, you look at the comment and you said, somebody actually wrote that.
Yeah,
Somebody
I know.
actually took the time. And then some of them are just bots, but I can usually tell what bot ones look like. But I wouldn't worry about the naysayers. I think you're smarter than that, and you're doing something good. And if the mission is always greater and more important than the person who's criticizing you, you will always continue on the mission.
100%. And honestly, that's why, man, like I'm not a public speaker. Before yesterday, it was my first time, and I was just ready. Like my
Mhm.
girlfriend said, "Are you nervous?" I'm like, "No, I know what I want. After 3 years, I know what I want to say. I know exactly what I want to say. The message is clear now, and like you were saying, all the haters, like it just honestly, it does make you more resilient. It makes it's like
100%.
if you can power through that, and that's what they tell all these rescue ladies from who did it for 30 years are like, Reed, you're the first one to break through that shit. And I'm like, guys, names don't hurt that bad. Come on, like
Yeah.
like the message is way stronger. Like right and wrong is pretty black and white to most of us. Well,
Mhm.
I don't know about most of us, but a lot of us. And like for you guys, it's different. Like it is. You guys are talking politics, so there's going to be a lot more assholes. It might
Oh
be
yeah.
more like, like I don't know, like in Alberta, like there's so much support and like I'm right with you guys, man. Like I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but I've had to get told by many people that I can't get political on Facebook anymore, man. I used to flip when Charlie Kirk
Mhm.
got shot, man. I was flipping my shit, and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
uh, and I'm vulgar. Like I was
Mhm.
posting some off the cuff shit, and people said, "Reed, you are gaining a following now, and you are taking away from the dogs." And I'm like, "Fuck,
Mhm.
you're right. Damn it, you're
Yeah,
right."
you
And then
got
I
to
felt,
find your mission. You got to
yeah,
find your mission and what's important to you and what advocacy is important to you, and you kind of roll with that. And mine is speaking up for the voiceless, right? And that's
100%.
literally what I do. I lost my job because of this. Chris has gone through a lot of heartache and
Dude,
lost a lot of stuff for this too. And now this is kind of what we do is we're the voice of the voiceless. I don't want somebody else to go out there and get fired. I can,
I love that.
yeah,
You literally sorry to cut you off, man. I have to echo that because I literally um I see a guy in Ontario who is you guys might follow him. His name's Joe. I don't know how to say his last name, but Joe Adjuder or something.
yeah, yeah. I know
Yeah,
him.
right. He's a Canada First
Yeah.
activist, and I seen him make a post, and he's like, and like I love his message. Like I don't think he's wrong. I don't think I think I agree, and from what I've seen anyway. But he said, man, he's been in sales for 15 years, and he sent out 500 resumes, and he can't get a job because of because they're checking your Facebook now. And
Yeah.
then I um have had an interview with a lady for a second thing that I wanted to do, and she loves what I do. She does, and she told me, and she follows me. She followed me before I even met her, and she said she loves what I do, but her partners aren't sure if they are willing to take on the flack that comes with me, and I'm like, I'm like, hey, I totally understand. Protect yours first. I totally get it. I don't want to bring flack to you. Um, I said if it makes you feel any better, it's about 95% positive, 5% negative. And the ones that are pushing the flack are either usually on fake accounts because I have blocked them. So they have to use fake accounts, and that is what they're doing with their day. So they don't even have any followers. They have no reach.
Yeah.
So like, it just fades to the bottom really quick.
Well, I think a lot of businesses need to understand that the cancel culture is actually coming down to we've come to a split where like-minded individuals are now starting to support like-minded individuals. If you
Yeah.
follow Paul's Pizza Sega, what that guy has been doing all over social media, Paul's Pizza has said some things even that I think are like, what?
Off the cuff.
But that guy's business has like has doubled at least.
Well,
Because
same
And
with
people are
Chris.
tired of the cancel culture, right?
exactly. People are
Probably
tired of it.
same
And
with
that's
Chris.
the thing with organizations they need to understand that, we're at a point in time here where people I'm not if I know you're a liberal, I'm not buying your shit. It's
Nope.
that simple.
Yep.
Because you guys made me lose not you yourself that own the business,
Your
but
ideology.
your ideology are the people who called my employer and got me fired. So you're not getting a dime out of me.
Hell
And
no.
and I always talk about supporting like-minded businesses and supporting wearing your opinion on your sleeve or going to Chris's restaurant or whatever it might be because we're at that point in time. I don't like it. I would like it if the liberals didn't go mental. You know what I mean? Go
Yep.
absolutely crazy over the last decade and destroy this country. That would have been awesome. But
Awesome.
they did. And now the division is so high. If I know you're liberal, the last thing I'm doing is spending a cent with you. It's
I
that
agree,
simple.
man. Dude, I agree. And honestly, like, It's like I seen a comment. You guys love this. Yeah, well, you might have even seen it. I seen this guy. He posted. He said, "I'm a '90s liberal. In other words, I'm a conservative."
I've
Yeah.
said that. Yep.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
because I even look at me like I am a stone cold conservative. My mom is. Me and my mom are both nature freaks too. We want to keep the oceans clean and hug the trees and love the dog and all that shit and the stars and all that. And that like that's like traits of a liberal. But it's like whatever the hell liberal is now is fucking batshit.
Just watch for the bad moss while you're hugging the trees. There's some bad moss out there that if you inhale it, it's not good for you.
I'm not
Or
doing that.
might
I guess
be
gotta watch
exciting.
for
Who knows? Yeah.
those chicks coming now too. I guess too. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Reed, we're I meant to only take a half an hour of your time. Lawrence and I have some other segments we wanted to do. But,
Absolutely, man.
I mean, some of the stuff it's pretty important. And one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on here, people are wondering, hey, how come you guys should be talking about Alberta independence? Yeah. You know what? The world keeps going no matter what Alberta's doing. There's other things that are important. I watched you, Reed, standing up for what you believe in, taking flack for it. And I wanted to make sure that we had a talk with you so that the folks that watch us know what you're up to and can help you out as well, because there isn't only one cause in the world. And yes, Alberta independence is very important, but there's no reason why we can't think about multiple things.
I really appreciate that, man.
Yeah, of course. And we'll do it again for sure. If people want to find you or support you, how do they do that?
On Facebook, Reed Salmon. Reed with 2 E's, salmon like the fish. That is
Reed
where
Salmon.
I post predominantly, or I don't know if that's the right word. The most. I mostly post on Facebook. And Instagram, Reed Salmon Music, I think is my one page. And then there's a Reed Salmon page as well on Instagram. Facebook, I got it. Nice. Yeah, I already follow you guys.
Nice.
And yeah, Facebook is definitely where I post the most. Because on Instagram, I'm still having a hard time with the transition because it was all music. And now I'm like posting dog stuff and I'm like, fuck, do I got to start another page here? Like, I don't know what to do.
Takes time. It takes time to switch your content over. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. But
what about the Reed Salmon Foundation? How do people support that?
So that, so I started a Facebook page for that charity and I never used it. Facebook actually deleted it because of the lack of activity on it. And so the foundation exists. It is a registered nonprofit. We just applied for charity status 2 months ago. It takes like 6 to 9 months, I heard. But regardless, it is a nonprofit. If you would like to donate to our cause, if you'd like to donate to the dogs and my mission, reedsalmonfoundation@gmail.com. Right now, we are working on our second organization. Reed Salmon Foundation will funnel money into the second organization, which is called the Bleeding Heart Society. And when the Bleeding Heart Society is up and running, that will be the one with the big socials and the big website and the big system. Reed Salmon Foundation is a real foundation. It just doesn't have the platform for it is mine in a nutshell. So yeah, Facebook is your best bet for sure.
Okay, so I put that in the comments. And speaking of comments, I've been kind of keeping an eye on them. Yep. This one here, there's a real important one I want to deal with right now. Can you see Chris's eyes scanning the chat, trying to figure out what the $CK is going on? No, I was actually looking at pictures of your mom. Don't tell us.
Let's go. I was too. Sorry.
Yeah, I knew it. Anyway, yeah, Reed, we'll put some links up for you and try and get people there. And folks, I would highly suggest that not only you follow Reed's journey in his advocating for the voiceless animals who need our help, but also check out his music. We listened to some in the car on the way home, and actually we were listening to Sweet Home Alberta, and you texted, and my van announces it. You have a new text message from Reed Salmon, and Jess looks over and she's like, "What the heck? How is this happening?" Because she didn't know what I've been talking to you. So
if you want to hear it live, you can come to the Whistle Stop on Alberta Day, right? Is that when we're doing?
Yes. On July 1st, long weekend, Reed's going to be playing at our place.
Sweet, man. We'll see you there. Can't wait to meet you in person.
Nice meeting you, buddy.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks for coming on.
Well, we already met. Yeah, but yeah, Lawrence. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be out at the Whistle Stop here soon for a bite to eat, man. It's been too long.
Okay, give me a heads up. I'll make sure I'm there.
Awesome. Have a good one, guys.
You too. Thanks for joining. Well, there we go. That's a little bit outside of our sphere of conversation lately, and we're going to get into some pretty juicy stuff right away. But
Couple things.
That's an important. It's an important thing.
Yeah, it's super important.
How do you here? Let me pull this up. I got to find this.
How am I in your phone? What am I named in your phone?
Babe.
That's what you are in my phone too. This is so weird, dude.
You're in my phone. You're Berta Pride dude.
Berta Pride dude. Yeah, there's one guy out there on the internet that can't do it right because I know why he does it, because he's a lawyer. That's why he does it. Because he knows what he's doing. He knows he's lying, so then he makes my name wrong, so then I can't do anything with him. Fucking lawyers, man.
Yeah. Here is some of the stuff that we saw on Saturday. Lots of people out. Oh, over here, I gotta click the right buttons. Lots of furry friends kicking around, and people who care about animals. And where is it? I took close-ups of these pictures. A lot of people aren't going to like this. Where is it? Oh, Frank is missing.
What, did Janice show up?
No, Janice didn't show up. I was really surprised, actually. Really surprised. That was a really, really friendly dog, this little guy there.
Nice.
Oh, there they are. This is why, this stuff is important. Sorry, folks. I should have given you a viewer discretion advised warning, but this is some of the stuff that is happening. These are real pictures.
Mm-hmm.
That's real.
That's insane, dude.
Absolutely insane. I got to shut that off. I can't even look at it. But once you see these things, you can't just ignore it anymore. And it's always in the back of your mind. And these things are going on all around us 24/7. And it's not going to stop unless people demand accountability. So
that's why we bring people on like that, right? That's why we bring people on that maybe it's a little bit out of our wheelhouse, which we normally talk about, but we feel it's important, both of us, it's important to us to get that message out there, and we both have platforms. I noticed somebody said there's like 20 people in the live or whatever. I don't care about who's currently here. Sorry. I love you guys who are currently here spending your evening with us, but thousands of people are going to see this in the future, and that's what's important.
I'm looking at the comments and I'm just wondering, first of all, is Master of Snatch 1645 another way of saying like they're like a Don Juan DeMarco or something?
What I was going to say is he should send me an email, bertaprowddad@gmail.com. We'll provide you a link and you can come up here and talk shit to our face. Don't be a coward in the comments. I hate when people do that. I would rather them in here talking shit to us than out there going.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe they're supportive. Maybe it's a friend. I don't know. I'm having a hard time figuring that out.
They're dick.
Are they? Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, whatever. Anyway, let's get on with it. What else did you want to talk about? What else is going on this week?
Okay, well, big things happened this week. Like we started off with the show, right? So we got Danielle Smith came out, and she didn't use Mitch Silvestri's question because she can't. First and foremost, she is using part of Thomas Lukaszik's question. Now I know there's talk saying that Danielle Smith can use the Referendum Act and all this other shit. You know what that takes, right? That takes her basically saying, okay, 700,000 Albertans want it, but how many people live in Alberta, by the way? And then now she's taking exactly. Now she's taking sides, right? Because the majority of Albertans didn't sign a referendum or didn't sign a petition for a referendum. They still haven't, right? Because there's 5 whatever million. And not only that, there's how many electors? 2.9 million, correct?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. So it's not even half even signed a petition, right? So at the end of the day, she came up with her own question. Deal with it, folks. That's what happens. And we got to move forward. I'm tired of people sitting here saying, we're going to fire Danielle. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. You know what? We got something to win in October, and we better win it. And the more you talk about Danielle Smith or Pierre Poilievre or any other politician in this country or this province is not going to get us there. And here's the other thing that's not going to get us there. Jeff fucking Rath. Jeff fucking Rath is not going to get us anywhere. If you haven't been seeing what that guy's been doing all over social media, he is losing his mind on people who literally support him. And how do I know this? I've never liked Jeffrey Rath, okay? Ever. And I've been very vocal about that, and I don't care. But he's now name dropping and throwing people under the bus that literally came to me months ago and said, stop talking shit about Jeffrey Rath. And now he's out there throwing them under the bus. And I'm like, is this guy losing his mind? Has he gone insane? What is happening? You know what? I still appreciate everything Jeff did in this movement. But then I start learning things like Jeff Rath was part of blocking pipelines for Alberta, which in turn made the government buy pipelines. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, what? This can't be true. Oh, wait, but it is. Let me just pull this up here. And for the people that are like, stop talking shit about Jeffrey Rath, I'm sorry, but I made a ton of content when pipelines were being blocked because it pissed me off, because a lot of oil patch people lost their jobs because of it. Rath represented Huitsim First Nation of BC as counsel in the 2014 NEB hearings for the Trans Mountain expansion held in Chilliwack, BC. That project's western end is in Burnaby. The delays that followed hurt Alberta producers who needed the export capacity. Mike fucking drop. The guy literally blocked pipelines and now is in an independence movement for Alberta. Make that fucking make sense. So anyway, yes, I'm a little bit pissed off because if you start digging things up and learning about people, ladies and gentlemen, you actually start asking yourself a question. How can you work for First Nations people, help them block pipelines, which hurts Albertans and hurts Albertans' jobs, and then turn it all around and say, I'm fighting for Alberta? Anyway, sorry, Chris, I went on a little rant there.
No, I mean, you're free to say that. I have a little bit of a different perspective because I like Jeff. He's been, I've had the opportunity to spend quite a bit of time with him. Not so much recently, more so before. We traveled around. We spoke at APP events together. It's, I like the guy. However, I've been, here's another part of this. So I am a current sitting director of the Alberta Prosperity Society. Now, there are some that would want you to believe otherwise, but that isn't true. I still am. As a director of the Alberta Prosperity Society, one of my jobs was to make sure that the society is being run and the project is being run and managed in a way that was sustainable and going to fulfill the mission and vision of the Alberta Prosperity Project, which was to educate Albertans as to the benefits and merits of Alberta independence. That's it. So, there's some things that I had a concern with, and I brought these up. I raised them as a director, wanting to include them in board meetings, specifically during the Stay Free campaign. One of my concerns was that Alberta Prosperity Project needed to continue doing the education because there were so many people that still didn't know why we needed a referendum. And we had some heated arguments about that, me and Mitch mostly. I decided it's not worth fighting over this. We're going to start Let's Talk Alberta. We'll carry the torch and be done with it. Thinking that day one after the signatures were handed in, APP would be back hitting the ground running, advertising, educating, doing all the stuff. Well, it's a month later, nothing has been done. And that really, really was it was eating away at me because this needs to happen. Now this is the real crappy part. We raised some concerns about some of the things that were going on. And some of the things that were with the leadership with APP that we needed to talk about at the very least. Because the way this was structured is that the Alberta Prosperity Project is governed by the Alberta Prosperity Society. And the CEO of the Alberta Prosperity Project works for the board of the Alberta Prosperity Society. In that, we decide how the project is supposed to run. The CEO executes that, and communicates with us, and this kind of thing. Well, it wasn't happening. So we raised these concerns. And we raised these concerns at the end of last year. We had some conversations like, hey, maybe we need to find some new leadership for APP because Mitch is going to be busy doing this campaigning. and I think he did a fantastic job. He got the grassroots motivated. A lot of people followed him and continue to do so. But some of us believed that we needed something different. We needed another group of people to come on board. And maybe Mitch wasn't the guy to do that. Not trying to take away from anything he did. No. Well, this was taken as a threat. That we were trying to fire everyone. So my two major concerns were, we need to make sure the project continues under leadership that's going to get us past the next phase. And number two, we need to make sure that we are legally solid in that we know what's going on. We're confident that we can sustain and we can defend against any attacks that come, because they will come. And these were taken as threats. And so rather than dealing with these things, Mitch and Jeff decided that they would just take the opportunity to remove the board. And I only say this because it's coming back to me in emails that are getting circulated around that I was trying to take over and become the CEO and fire everyone and do all these things. Well, that's completely not true. I was trying to fulfill my duties as a director of the Alberta Prosperity Society. So anyway, they did this thing where they just said, oh, none of the board exists. We put in a new board and that's it. And so we're at this meeting thinking that's not right, that our board is elected by democratic process through board meetings as reflected in the minutes. I believe Jeff even seconded my the motion to appoint me to the board when I came back on the board. And we were left feeling kind of stunned. And then Mitch said something very interesting to me. He said, I was tired of the trouble with the board. And presumably the trouble was our demand for transparency, legal certainty, those types of things, and fulfilling the leadership role of the CEO as in a two-way street here. And so he said, I saw an opportunity to remove the board and I took it.
What?
I'm not even kidding you.
What? So
not kidding
so
you.
he removed. Okay, so he removed you from the board of Alberta Prosperity Society, is what you're saying?
No, and that's the interesting part. What? They actually didn't.
I'm confused here,
because as I go through the Societies Act and I go through the APS bylaws, I realize, okay, well, and this stuff is public. Like you can look this stuff up yourself. So I'm not, I'm not speaking of things that I'm not allowed to speak of. The idea was that because our filings didn't get done, and again, this is public record, and one of the things was a notice of new directors, that we were never directors at all. Well, the notice of directors, that's just to notify the government who the directors are, who the new directors are. It's the society's bylaws that set out how the directors are appointed. And so I've been a director for, I don't know, about a year, engaging in business that the board does with Jeff at meetings, with him, representing me as counsel to the society, not me personally, but the society as a whole. And then they pull this and say, oh, you were never directors. And then Mitch tells me and us that, oh, I just did this because I was tired of the trouble. And these are things that I had brought up, like I think there's a conflict because our lawyer is also a director on the board. How can our lawyer represent us if he's also a director deciding what happens? These aren't good things. So that happened, and now I'm forced into a position where I have some very difficult choices to make because these people are my friends, but I think an independent Alberta is more important. I believe that the education part of this is the most important, because it doesn't matter what we do with politics or politicians. If we don't educate Albertans as to the merits and benefits of independence, and they don't know what to ask for, they're not going to ask for it, right? And now here my concerns have manifested in an entire month of wasted time that nothing's been done.
Yep.
And now I see this other thing happening where, Jeff is talking about, well, maybe Mitch should be the interim premier after we removed Danielle. And then I'm like, now I understand.
Yeah.
Now I understand. This is a political thing, right?
Yeah.
It's about the list. It's about the ability to reach people and convince people to buy UC membership so that they can fulfill what you want to happen in removing a premier and appointing someone else. Now, do we remember when this happened before? This happened before, right?
Yep. Jason Kenney.
Yeah. How did that happen?
Same exact thing. Pretty much. Same exact thing.
Same
happened.
exact people.
Yeah. Same exact people, same exact thing. But here's something that nobody's thinking about when it comes down to the UCP membership, okay? And them removing Danielle Smith. And I'm going to be absolutely clear about this, and hopefully people are paying attention, because there's people that are very closed-minded on this because nobody's brought it up, but I've brought it up to a few people and they're like, holy shit, I've never thought of that. The premier has a lot of support in caucus, a ton. And how many UCP MLAs do we have in this province? And how many MLAs do we have to lose to become a minority government? We just saw it. We just saw it at the federal level of MPs crossing the floor. What happens when an MLA resigns? Their seat removes out of the legislature until a by-election, correct? That's what happens. Yep. So how much? There's a lot of support for Danielle. So just say a coup happens, okay? A successful coup within the UCP. Everybody's calling for, or not everybody, a small majority, I would say right now, are calling for it. And I get it. People are pissed off. But remove Danielle. We're going to fire you. We're going to do this. What about every single other MLA that sits in the UCP, in that legislature, that are like, I don't like Jeff Rath. I don't like where this is going. Nope, I'm out. You just literally, without an election, handed a majority government through seats being vacated to the NDP party. What happens to the independence movement then? And people are like, holy shit. Yeah, this isn't the United States of America where you replace a president and it's done. Right? You remove Danielle Smith, you're going to lose MLAs. They're going to resign. They're going to go on their merry little way. They're going to say, if this can happen right now, I'm out. I don't want to be a part of this. And that's exactly the thing that people aren't saying. And if you want that, I don't stand with you, because that's how it's going to go down. It is going to go down exactly like that. Danielle Smith gets removed, which I don't think there's a huge opportunity that that's going to happen. MLAs resign. The NDP get majority government. They're now the government in Alberta. And what happens to the independence movement? It's gone.
Yeah, that is a plausible outcome. What I was thinking is, what happens if Danielle is removed? Okay, so Danielle is no longer the premier. We have an interim premier, and then what? Are any of the things that
Just
are...
One second. Chris Gibson, stop fear-mongering. That's not fear-mongering. That is absolutely real. That can happen. That's the way our parliamentary system works. This is literally why, partly the reason I hate the internet, is you can come out and say exactly truth and fact of what can happen, and somebody just says that's fear-mongering. No, that's not fear-mongering. I'm trying to protect our system because I understand I do want a different system, but I know the dirty games of this system and how it works. And that's exactly how it works. You remove Danielle, MLA step down, NDP are government. You're finished. Anyway, sorry, Chris. Sorry, I had to respond to that.
And even if they don't, let's just pretend for a moment that they don't. And by the way, folks, I have no vested interest in this. My goal is an independent, sovereign Alberta. That is it. And I saw someone in the comments say, they don't think Mitch can take this to the next step. And they respect him. I agree. I respect both of these men. I just have a different opinion as to what our path is. And the unfortunate part is rather than talking about it, it's just like yeah, thanks, bud. It's just it's just this ridiculous struggle for some sort of power. But now I'm starting to put the dots together now. But let's just say that Danielle is replaced, and the party doesn't fracture, and MLAs don't step down, and they keep government. Then what? So this new interim premier gets in there, realizes, oh shit, I can't do the things that I thought I could do because they haven't seen behind the veil yet. And they go, okay, we're going to schedule this referendum. Immediately, the First Nations chiefs start filing injunction after injunction after injunction, which would be successful, by the way, because one already was. The precedent is there. And this gets tied up in court. Like, people need to understand that this whole idea, the reason I love Jeff is because that man is a force. He's like one of the, the X-Men with the big helmet that goes through walls. That's Jeff. Nothing is going to stand in his way, and he is going through that wall. He is going to destroy whatever's in his way, and he's going to do what he wants.
So here's a question. Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Why is he trying to destroy the character of people who literally had his back this whole time? Why is he trying to do that?
I can't answer that, but I would assume that it's because they're considered now in his way, as I am. Same thing,
Okay. Isn't that dangerous, though, in any sort of movement?
Pardon?
Isn't that dangerous in a movement, though?
That's where I'm going with it.
Okay.
It is dangerous because, if you can't take a moment to have a little bit of nuance and kind of maybe think, hey, this is maybe not the thing that we need to mow down, it's going to be a very difficult time to get to the outcome you want. That was good before, probably not so good now, because the people that we're trying to reach is that mushy middle, and they just need some coaching and questions answered and to be listened to. They don't need to be run through, right? So that's the issue there. Now, where's that comment? I got to get that. It was something about, here it is. Here it is. Oh, this isn't the one, but it's similar. Look, I love you, Chris and Lawrence, but we still need to stand on this independence together. No power over another. Or we might as well stay because that's what's happening. Basically, there was another comment that was the same thing. Where is it? I can't remember what it is, but it was that idea. Oh, we just need to unify. We need to be united. Okay, let's unite on our path to independence, right? I have a different opinion on how to get there. Should people go behind my back and try and remove me from a board that I'm sitting on, where my job is to make sure that the organization that's moving towards there is successful? That's not unity.
No,
that isn't. That's not working together.
Yeah.
And then, I've had this concern for a long time because I've seen something that people don't understand about me is that I've been in so many rooms and a fly on the wall and all these places, and I've heard things and seen things and realized things that most people probably would never have a chance to, because I've kind of been friends with everybody and I've been in all these rooms. And so I can put some things together. When I watch certain people like absolutely kissing Mitch's ass, like calling him the savior of independence, carried the whole movement on his back, while I'm remembering all of the work that me and thousands of other people did before he got on board, which was only just a little while ago. Yeah. I'm watching this unfold thinking, why is this happening? Why is this conversation going this way? Then I see the spotlight moving and being forcibly put in certain places. Then I see attacks over here going on. Then I get a text message saying, hey, if Mitch is removed, we're going to destroy this person. And I'm like, that's weird. Where's all this coming from? Why are we talking like this? I thought we were supposed to be united, working towards the same goal. Then I see that these same people that were involved in removing Jason Kenney and getting Daniel Smith elected are working in the background for Mitch, by the way, and doing the same thing. And so all these things are going around in my not super high IQ brain, where I'm thinking about hamburgers and turkey legs at the same time. And eventually I'm starting to connect some dots, and I'm realizing there's more to it than we thought. And then I see this demand for a resignation from a premier, a suggestion that someone else should be premier. the pieces are starting to come into place, and I realized the concerns that I've been having for the last 6 months were 100% valid, and I should have spoken up sooner. You know why I didn't, Lawrence?
Why?
Division.
Yeah. And you know what? I've been accused of causing division in the movement for talking about one person. I haven't talked about any other person, and there's many people in this movement that I'm not too fond of. I'm not. And because at the end of the day, I don't worry about them. The only reason why I have to talk about Jeff is a couple reasons. He blatantly lied in an interview about legalities the other day, and I did a video about it. It was a blatant bullface lie where he said we cannot hold a referendum within a year of an election, which, you know, a lot of people are watching Jeff. We know this. They're watching him on CTV. They're watching him on Global and CBC. They framed him as this leader in the movement. So I have to say something because this channel exists to correct people. I've corrected Danielle Smith. I've corrected Pierre Poilievre. I've corrected Justin Trudeau. I've corrected Stephen Harper. I've corrected, you get my point. Jeff said that a referendum cannot be held within a year. And he said that. That is false. A petition, a citizens-led petition cannot be held for the 12 months before or 12 months after an election, and including during the election. I made that video, and people said, you're causing division. Have we gone absolutely insane, ladies and gentlemen? Well, we obviously have, because when that is causing division, no. That is not division. That is correcting the lawyer for APP that is on every mainstream news media spewing lies that we can't have a referendum. That is fear-mongering. I got accused of fear-mongering in the chat earlier. No, ladies and gentlemen, that is fear-mongering. He's a lawyer. This man has won cases in the Supreme Court. He knows what he's doing, just like this injunction. Do you think Jeff Rath didn't know that this injunction was going to come? Do you think Jeff Rath doesn't know anything about duty to consult? Jeff Rath is one of the reasons we have duty to consult in this country. Start looking into the court cases and the Indian bans that Jeff Rath has represented. That's all I'm saying. And you will see that this man knows exactly what he's doing. This is very calculated. I didn't know about him being removed or trying to remove you from a board. That also sounds very calculated. There's a reason I don't like Jeff Rath, and that is because Jeff Rath can easily be replaced with Keith Wilson, who I trust. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need him. We have a Keith Wilson that can do this job. Keith Wilson is there, and he is a very smart man. And quite frankly, he's more good for the palate, if you can say, right? And at the end of the day, Jeff Rath can easily be replaced. We don't need him. Thank you for everything you've done, but his paranoia has come completely full circle. If you watch the video that I just posted today about him going after Corey Morgan, Jason Levine, and who was the other one that he mentioned in there? But anyway, who was the other one? I forget. Anyway, doesn't really matter. But the thing is we literally need to understand that it's not causing division when we see somebody harming something, and we need people to understand. At the end of the day, I'm okay. I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. This channel has gone through some very rocky roads before when I've had to call out specific individuals, but I'm allowed to have my opinion, just like Jeff Rath is, and he hasn't had very good opinions of me either. So I'm not overly concerned with it. And to Jeff Rath, yeah, I want to see Keith Wilson take your job because I don't think you deserve it, especially when you're trying to who the fuck tries to remove people off of a board who have done so much for the movement? That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, what are you doing? That's fucked.
See, and I come at this from a different perspective.
A more calm angle.
Well, because I really like Jeff.
Yeah,
it's this is very uncomfortable for me. This isn't something I wanted to talk about in particular. But we're trying to have this resolved in the background, and we'll continue, but the response has been less than respectful. So yeah, it's got to be talked about. People are asking. And now the other part of it is now there's a certain individual who is sending emails out saying things about me like the only reason that I'm doing Let's Talk Alberta is because I'm broke and I'm just taking people's money. Yeah. He insinuated that because I opened a separate bank account in my name, and this is where this is where Let's Talk Alberta's money is, that somehow I'm like, what, I'm a thief, I'm grifting, I'm stealing the money. Like, did I not fund this whole project on my own in the beginning, in like one of the worst business months of the year for the Whistle Stop Cafe, with my personal money, because I believe in the educational component so much? And then they say, oh, Chris is trying to do a coup, so he becomes the CEO. If I wanted to be the CEO of the Alberta Prosperity Project, I would have applied for it. I didn't want to. I made that clear when I resigned. Another claim is that I was, and this came from Mitch, he actually told people that I'm hosting events and telling people it's the Alberta Prosperity Project and fundraising on their name and taking their money.
That's never happened.
These things are not true.
Yeah.
None of those things are true, and yet they're being said about me. So, I mean, how long do I sit here on all of these things that I've got rattling up in my brain, while these good people who are friends of mine that I care about are being made to think that I'm an asshole grifter? My focus has never been off of Alberta independence. Not
no,
once.
it hasn't.
Before I continue, I gotta clear this up. Anita, I see your comment. You say Jeff Raff supports WF. Chris was there and you heard him saying it at APP in a meeting. Full disclosure, Jeff Raff does not support the WEF. If it was up to Jeff and he could sign something that completely destroyed the WEF, he would do it in a heartbeat.
I believe that.
He did mention something about UN Declaration or rights of the landlocked countries or something like that, and then quickly retracted it. So, Jeff is many things. He can be a bit of a bull in a china shop, but he is not a globalist, and I would never want to represent him as such. So let's just get that clear right now.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, yeah, it sucks, but it's happened. This is where we are. Whatever, it's not a big deal. We've gone through things like this before. We'll sort it out. We'll figure it out. We're all adults. But I certainly am not going to let people talk to me about that, or talk to me in that way, and then turn around and use the most important piece of the Alberta sovereignty conversation, which is the Alberta Prosperity Project, by the way, that so many people have put so many thousands of hours in to build and be ready for that federal election when Mark Carney won. I will not allow somebody to take that organization and turn it into a political weapon using their data, their contact list, and their infrastructure to achieve a political outcome, which now I see has happened. Mm-hmm. It all became clear when I saw that post about Mitch becoming the interim premier.
Mm-hmm. Bing. It's obvious that people don't follow Jeff in here. You got Daniel Hunter saying, and this is where it should be talked about and fixed. It's internally, not on here. Do you guys not follow Jeff? Because we're not talking about this because we just decided to wake up one day and talk about it. The man has brought this on himself. He's talked about multiple people, multiple times, in multiple different venues, on podcasts, in streams, on his Twitter feed. I love the comments I get. You guys need to solve this internally. You need to stop doing this. You need to stop doing that. Maybe go start seeing the shit that guy's posting, the stuff he's saying on interviews, and then you'll see that all this is people publicly defending themselves. When your name is put out there in a public place, on a public platform, you have every right to come publicly and defend yourself. I've been doing this for 5.5 years, and sometimes you have to just do it. Because if you don't do it, that rumor mill starts to swirl and swirl and swirl, and it gets out of hand. And that's just the way it goes. I don't like doing it, but this never had to happen if the guy just shut his fucking mouth, to be honest with you. He didn't have to do this. And Chris, he has a lot of patience, and he has a lot of respect for Jeff. And I can't, this is the beautiful thing about Chris and I. We have our show together on Sunday nights. He's allowed his opinion, and I'm allowing him to have it. I'm not sitting here trying to sway Chris into saying you should hate Jeff, or you shouldn't be friends with Jeff, or you should do whatever. Chris is going to do what Chris is going to do because he's a big boy. But I'm a whole different ballgame over here. I'm putting my my support behind Keith Wilson. I think Keith Wilson's the man to get it done. I think he should be the lawyer of the APP. I think he should be the representative on CTV and I know he's doing interviews now. He's on CBC, he's on CTV, he's on Global. He's doing more and more. He's the one debating Jason Kenney. It's not Jeff Rath, right? It's sold out crowd going to be tomorrow in Calgary, and he's the one doing it. Jeff's not doing it, right? So at the end of the day, I'm going to support Keith Wilson. I'm going to push Keith Wilson's content. I'm going to keep pushing Keith Wilson. I'm going to make Jeff Rath irrelevant. That's what I'm going to do. So this is probably going to be one of the last days that you hear me talk about Jeff. So just bear with me.
Yeah. Well, you know, I don't know that I've ever seen Jeff say anything like what Mitch said about me.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. I do want to make sure that people know that that's not coming from him. Jeff is smart enough to know that that's not the case. He knows that I wouldn't do those types of things, but it does seem as though there is a plan there, and questioning it was never to be allowed. Mm-hmm. So, you know, that's where that is.
Yeah, that really does suck. That really does suck. Patricia says you two should be ashamed of yourselves for airing. Lost 100% of my respect. That's okay. Oops. I'm gonna still sleep okay tonight. Trust me.
Yeah, I probably won't. I don't like comments like this. It bothers me. And like I say, this isn't something I really wanted to talk about either, but it's being talked about. Like people are they're calling me, or even worse, they're not taking my calls because they're believing these things that have been said about me after this has happened. You know, I try and do what I know is right. And sure. In this case, that's exactly what I did.
Yep.
And people turned on me, and now at least one of them is slandering me and saying shit that's not true. So what would you have me do? Would you respect me more if I rolled over and just allowed this to happen? Would you respect me more if I allowed this extremely important organization to be steamrolled for political purpose by people with different motivations? Is that what people want from me? Because I've never done it before. And this isn't the first time I've had to speak up on something like this and gotten shit for it. If I was just a content creator, podcaster, whatever, trying to build an audience that just cared about what everyone thought, I wouldn't share these things. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't, because I know it's unpleasant, but that's not my goal. My goal is Alberta independence.
Yeah, period. I don't care who follows who, right? Like, I don't give a shit. That doesn't matter to me. Like, I guess that maybe that's where we differ. Like, people talk shit about me all day, every day. There's hundreds of videos made about me a day. There's lots of lies out there about me. So I really don't care. But when I find truth and I find fact and I see somebody that's basically out there trying to destroy the reputation of people in this movement that have been in it a long time and you know, have done a lot of hard work, I'm going to be vocal about it. And, you know, to the people that maybe I lost your respect tonight, well, okay. Like, I'm not going to apologize for it because I stand up for people. That's what I do. I use my platform to stand up for the people that I care about. And right now it's about Alberta independence, not one sole individual or two individuals. This is about the betterment of Alberta. And when I look at Alberta independence, I support it because of my kids. That's why I support it. I support it for the future of the province, not some 70-year-old plus man, whatever. I don't even know how old he is. That's out there, you know, trying to get power. That's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it for the betterment in the future. And if people want to say that, you know, I shouldn't do my content the way I'm doing it, just do your own content. Worry about what you're doing. Yeah, worry about what you're doing, and maybe you can go out and get a studio and buy the equipment and buy the cameras and start a podcast and do everything that we're doing here. And then people can come in and they can tell you that you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. Because at the end of the day, I'm a voice, and I'm going to call out the things that are bad, the things that I don't see that are right. And I'm not seeing some things that are right. I'm seeing a lot of really good things. And you want to know the good things that I'm seeing? People attending events, people going door knocking, people talking to their neighbors, people talking to their friends. There's a lot of really good things in this movement that, are not being highlighted because a few people are doing some dirty things. And it's important to talk about the canvassers that they're out there in the cold and the wind and the sleet and the snow and being yelled at and cigarette butts thrown at them, and all those endless hours that they worked, and the people that, put countless volunteer hours in, and the speakers out there, the people that attend events and help set up and take down, and the sound checks and everything else. There's a lot of people in the movement, and they deserve a spotlight as well. And that's what I want to get back to. And I want to get back to giving those people the spotlight, because that's what it is about. But when people are out trying to destroy other people's names, I will put my name on the line to make sure that we can absolutely be vocal about it, because that is wrong. That is absolutely wrong, and it's disgusting, and it's distasteful, and it harms the movement.
I want to point something out too, Lawrence. I think you're in the same boat as me with this. When I talk about things that I know are going to upset people, make them uncomfortable, make them put comments like what Patricia says. And Patricia, I respect your opinion. I believe that you're in error here. You say the two of you should be ashamed of yourselves. You do nothing but hurting the independent drive by airing all your dirty laundry like this. You're disgusting. You're welcome to your opinion, and I'm not going to fault you for it. But I just want to point out, I have a lot to lose here. I really do. When my viewership goes down on social media, not that I make much off Facebook anyway, but I lose money. When people boycott my restaurant because they don't like what I talk about, I lose money. And I feel it, because I'm literally paycheck to paycheck. I am not a wealthy man. I haven't, won tens of millions of dollars in settlements as a lawyer. I don't have a big business that I could retire on right now. I'm not secure. So I feel this. Like, when this happens, it is a big deal. And this will hurt me. And I still talk about it because it's important, and I believe in the goal. And we're never going to get to that goal if we don't deal with these things immediately. Maybe the whole referendum, to have a referendum thing, was a blessing, so we can get over this, get back to work, and focus on the friggin' goal. Maybe that's what we needed. Because I can tell you right now, with the way things are going, with the lack of action from the biggest voice in the independent sphere for a friggin' month after we could have started doing stuff, we were not going to have a successful referendum in October. We wouldn't have, because the leadership's not there. And I tried to sound the alarm about this, as did others, and all we got was shit on. So maybe this is a blessing. Maybe we get it out in the open, get it over with, and move on. And I really hope that everybody, including the people that I find myself offside with right now, I hope that they continue with advocacy and organizations and whatever, and I hope they have tremendous success building a win for the referendum. I really do. But something has to change, and this has to get sorted out. And I'm not going to sit on my hands.
No, and I'm not either. And I've been vocal about it for a while. And the thing is independence means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to a lot of people. I was just about to go on a big heartfelt rant, and that came up. But no, it's all good. But the thing is there's no secret that I don't like Jeff, and I'm never gonna like Jeff. It's just not ever gonna happen, right? And he likes poking fun at me, and he likes talking a lot of shit about me. It's just funny when I do it back, I'm the one that's going to be the bad guy. And here's the news flash. I never did social media for followers. I know a lot of people respect my opinion on Jeff Raff. It's a lot more people agree with me on my opinion of Jeff than disagree with me on my opinion of Jeff. So it's whenever I'm out there at events, people have concerns. Whenever in my comment sections, people have concerns. I literally just got a text message about it. The thing is I'm not going to sit here and worry that this live stream is going to hurt somebody's feelings, because this live stream actually educated some people, and maybe they're going to go and they're going to listen to Chris's story, and they're going to listen to what I had to say. They're going to go look at people in a different way, or maybe they'll like him because of what we said. At the end of the day, this is about Alberta independence. I will scale back on Jeff Rath a little bit, unless he starts talking shit about me again. I don't really care. Like, I could do this all day, right? Like, I'm not really worried about it, but I would rather just see us start moving forward in the independence movement and doing what we have to do. I know he's gone to people and basically threatened them with lawsuits for talking shit, because he's a lawyer. Sue me, whatever. Like, at the end of the day, like, I can't sit here and be scared of somebody because they're a lawyer. Look at the parliament, for instance. Half of them are lawyers. So I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna continue to do my content. And there's some people from Jeff Rath's camp in here, and say la vie. When the guy goes down with his ship, I'll just say I told you so, because Keith Wilson is going to come out as a very big leader in this movement. I can tell you that right now.
Well, Jeff's done some really important work. And Keith's doing some really important work right now too. The Alberta Transition Council. Oh, by the way, Corey Morgan says nothing wrong with a good milking action now and then. Yeah. Apparently we agree. Yeah. That's going to be a meme somewhere. They're going to.
I'm good at it. Good at it.
Yeah. You should go work on a farm. But anyway, that Alberta Transition Council, that's super important. What Keith is working on with others, I think, including Dennis Kalma. I'm not 100% sure, but they're working on a white paper that they could basically hand to the Premier of Alberta and say, hey, we voted that we want out. This is the things you have to do. You don't even have to spend a couple years researching it. We've done it for you.
That's pretty cool.
So when people ask, oh, where's the plan? Where's the plan? They're doing the plan. They're building it so that it's ready to go when it's necessary.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's good that they're doing that work too. And you know what? Again, I'll say this. What Jeff did in the movement was absolutely important. And I've said this multiple times. He did good work. He did a lot of really good, solid work. He represented the movement really well. And then he didn't. Like, that's kind of the way it is, right? Like, in my opinion, right? We could have there's varying opinions on that. He was doing really good, and then he wasn't. That's kind of how I look at it. And when somebody's not doing any good anymore, well, bye. That's how I look at it. I would expect the same as me. If people came to me and said, Lawrence, can you please stop talking about Alberta independence? You're hurting the movement. I'd be like, okay, I would have to go to some people that I respected within the movement for sure, 100%. And then if they were like, yeah, you should probably step down, or I have concerns, I wouldn't remove them from a fucking board, or try to. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe I think different. I just, or allegedly, I don't fucking know.
That was pretty insulting.
It would. Hey, we got something coming up when Tuesday.
In Lacombe. Yes.
Lacombe.
And I am literally panicking because we have not sold enough tickets. And I'm going to be on the hook for a few $1,000s like usual if we don't sell enough tickets. So that kind of sucks, but hopefully the ticket sales will improve. Chicken and ribs. I have ribs and chicken both brining in the cooler right now. So tomorrow, before I go to Brooks, I'll be dealing with that. And then all day, probably from like 3 a.m. on Tuesday, I'll be starting. But yeah, I'm panicking a little bit because we're in Brooks tomorrow night. That's not close. And we have a pierogi dinner down there. So that's work. And then I got to drive all the way home, get up at 3 a.m. and do the Lacombe thing, for which we haven't sold enough tickets. So that'll all work out, right?
So Lacombe, where can we get those tickets, Chris? Do you got a graphics there somewhere you can start showing these people?
Maybe it would help if I actually told people where they could find the tickets.
Yeah.
Let me find it here. I believe it is on the Let's Talk Alberta website. Where we got it here? Here it is. Oh, no, that's not it. This one. There it is. So if you go to letstalkalberta.com, which, by the way, also comes out of my personal bank account, just in case anyone's wondering. Like, the payment for it comes out.
Can't believe you said that.
Yeah.
About, yeah, that's wild.
Right here. So you'll find our posters for Shane and Bonnie do awesome, and my sister and a couple others work on the website.
Yeah, they're great.
Click on the this guy here. Oh, it's going to open a new web. Oh, it opens a new page. Hold on a sec. Let me switch that. Share screen. So it's actually going to link you to the Whistle Stop webpage, because that's where I'm set up to do tickets. I'm not set up to do tickets on Let's Talk Alberta. And you can just add them to your cart. So we're going to be at the Lacombe Memorial Center Tuesday, May 26th. Doors open at 5:30. Music by Dane Von Hagen and Kevin Peters and Ruth Purvis-Smith. For those of you who know them, you know it's going to be a great show. Dessert by my good friend Jasper Smith, who you're going to have the opportunity to meet, Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
He's out from Holland. One of the reasons he's out here is specifically to help me with this event. And me, you, and Ben Crane will be speaking. So tickets are $50. That includes a dinner of barbecue chicken, or I guess it's going to be roasted because I just bought a new chicken rotisserie. I can do 40 chickens on it.
Nice.
Awesome. And smoked ribs and some other good stuff. There will be a cash bar there. So basically dinner, a little bit of talking, mingling, and then some music and dancing. So it's going to be a great time.
Yeah,
Please
it's going to be
tickets.
awesome. Yeah, I look forward to seeing people up in Lacombe, and that would be absolutely amazing. And you know what? It is a huge risk when you have, a $50 fee, like we had said there. But the thing is that goes to the food, that goes to the venue, that goes to everything. Like it goes to a lot, right? And it's an event to come and hang out with some like-minded individuals. That's a big one. Have some great conversations. Every single time I go and I speak at an event, I'm not, don't get me wrong, I like the public speaking, but the best part of the event is talking to everybody and listening to different perspectives. And then, some people give me shit for something I said on a video. And I love that shit because, I've learned a lot from the people in the crowd at every single event that I've spoken at. And I'm speaking both of us are speaking at a big event in October. And super, super pumped about that. But
I meant to share that. That's the We Unify event.
Yeah, We Unify in October. We're both speaking at, and that'll be another big one that where we get to talk to everybody and have real discussions. And yeah, I would like to see you guys in Lacombe on Tuesday. I would really like to see you.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. And this is the We Unify event coming up in October. Bunch of speakers there. Me and Berta, Tanny Clemens, Jason Levine, that Chris Scott grifter guy. He's probably going to pretend that he's fundraising for someone else. Dr. Charles Hoff, Madison and Macy Holmes.
Yes, Ken.
I don't know who that is. Grasecki? Ted Kuntz, fantastic human being. Katie from the Ostrich Farm, Matthew Errett, and Julia Dinson. And I think there's going to be some more speakers as well.
Yeah, some of my own friends, they reached out to me and they said, "Hey, man, I'm going to be speaking at We Unify." I'm like, that's awesome. And so, yeah, there's going to be some good people that go there. So go to the We Unify website, grab your tickets for that. They're going to sell out for sure. And they're actually discounted right now till June 1st.
7 days, 2 hours, 52 minutes left for discounted tickets.
Yep.
Get them while you can.
But right now we want the Lacombe event sold out. Yes. That's what we're looking at. We want Lacombe. We want to see you in Lacombe. Come and talk to us and, let's chat.
Yeah. So, on that note, like the reason we're doing this type of event in Lacombe is because I love to feed people. Mm-hmm. Honestly.
Yeah, you do actually.
I really, really do. I know that we spend a lot of time, doing events and talking about stuff and doing the Q&A and that. This is an opportunity where we can get together as a group. Maybe you can invite some people that are not on our side. We can just have those conversations. But the priority is to have a good night with a good meal and some fellowship with human beings. That's it. And if someone's mind gets changed, awesome. If not, whatever. We enjoyed some time together. That's what it's all about.
Exactly. 100%. Totally agree. So, yeah. Got a little ranty tonight, pissed some people off tonight. That's what the show is not supposed to be about. But again, we cannot, this is one thing I learned when I got sober. Your triggers are not my responsibility. And if I were to listen to everybody on the internet how to do my content, I would not be where I am today in my content. I can guarantee you that. So, sometimes the truth hurts, and sometimes the things that are happening within something that you're very passionate about have to come to light for a little bit for people to understand. But I'm full steam ahead. I still appreciate the people that are doing the things in Alberta independence, and I'm always going to support this man that's sitting in this show with me. He's shown me nothing but leadership. He's shown me that, you know, he can answer questions and with logic. He doesn't snap on people like I do, right? This is why I tell people, they're like, oh, Berta proud dad for this, Berta proud. No, not me. But that's a good quality of somebody, is when they can say, no, not me, right? But, you know, I'm, what?
Look at this.
Yes, sir. Holy shit.
That's, wow, thank you. That's really awesome. Super chat, $200 super chat.
Yeah, that's
I've never
crazy.
seen before.
I've never seen that. Oh, that's Mexican, buddy.
Oh, Mexican money?
200 pesos.
Oh, I love pesos. Whatever. I'm gonna pretend. Hold on, I gotta move
Okay,
over.
pretend it's $200.
Now my mic stand is in the way of the MX, and it just looks like $200. Anyway,
Perfect.
It says call a conference of all independence delegates with an agenda for a two-pronged effort to pass the referendum and put pressure on UCP internally. That's kind of what's supposed to be happening. That's why there are boards, so that you can talk about things like this. So it's not just one or two people calling the shots. But yeah, that's a great idea, and that's the way that people work together. Is you get in rooms and you figure out a plan, and then you execute the plan.
100%. 100%.
Refresh the page. Oh, apparently there was more posters up on the Let's Talk Alberta website. I just hadn't refreshed it. Must have been cached. Okay. Yeah, I've had to learn a lot, because when I started Let's Talk Alberta, I had no money. I couldn't afford web design, IT, any of these things. So I had to literally sit at home and figure out how to do a website, figure out how to do all of the things associated. I spent weeks learning and using Claude AI. Like, okay, how do I change my whatever TX settings in my domain so that my email works from a different server? And then I go through all that. So yeah, it's been an experience.
I love it.
I didn't have a budget. So what do you do?
Mary Wall says, I'm sorry, Chris Scott. What happened to you with the APP?
No, don't be. It's totally fine. Things will be sorted out. Everything happens for a reason. Thank goodness that I had the foresight to start Let's Talk Alberta so we could continue that type of work. Now it's become very apparent to me that we need probably, 100 groups doing things. It's just necessary. So it all works out in the end. 200 pesos is currently $15.99.
Still, well, hey, you know what? It's support.
$15.99 is awesome too. So thank you very much.
It's support, 100%. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and from Mexico, that's cool.
Yeah, that is really neat. Yeah. Tickets sold at the door, if not sold, for Lacombe, or is that a thing?
Yep. Yeah, I'll sell tickets at the door. Sure. Nice. I always make way too much food, as you know, Lawrence. So there will be, there'll be lots of food available.
Yeah. So last week we did 2 hours and 7 minutes. So when we started the show, we talked and we said we're going to do half hour to an hour every Sunday. The past two shows, we did 2 hours, 7 minutes last Sunday. We did 2 hours. We're at 2 hours and 9 minutes today. I have busy week coming up. I got Monday, the Keith Wilson, Jason Kenney debate. I have Tuesday, the Lacombe event. And then I'm out of here at like 4 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday morning to an undisclosed location. So make sure you're following along the channel and follow me along my journey with a soft J.
Gosh dang it. I really wanted to go to that Jason Kenney, Keith Wilson debate. I think it's going to be fantastic. But, well, you know what? I'm glad that I get to be in Brooks, and I have the opportunity and privilege of making a whole bunch of pierogies and feeding people and talking to them about the future of Alberta. So that's fantastic. Yeah. I'll get the Cliff's notes from someone else that's going. I'm sure it'll be well attended.
It will be very well attended. It's something that I don't want to miss. Basically the day the tickets went on sale, I did purchase them, and I'll be there to take it all in. It's going to be quite interesting. And then, like I said, next week's show, I'll be in a remote location.
Nice.
Yeah.
Will I? Next week? Oh, I have a wedding to cater next weekend.
Do you?
I have a wedding to cater this coming weekend.
Nice.
Oh boy.
You excited for
And
that?
yeah, I'm stressed out. It's a pretty high profile friend of mine, and I just really want to make sure it's really good, because it'll either be very public admiration for a great catered event, or it'll be like a meh, maybe just stick to the whistle stop Chris. And then after that, the weekend after that, we have our first medieval fair of the year. So man, I am going to be slammed busy in the rest of the summer. The rest of the summer is booked completely up. That's actually why I flew Jasper out here, because he's helping me with all this stuff.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
Thank you everybody for joining in. And even if you disagree with us on stuff and you're one of those capable adults to say, I disagree with you, and but I still respect you. Well, you know what? That's awesome, because I disagreed with this man for a very long time and still respected him. So it's great to be an adult and have other adults in the room. We appreciate you guys. And yeah, till next week, I guess. Hey, Chris?
Absolutely. And just for the record, folks, I'm not supporting by any means an initiative to remove Danielle and install someone else as leader of the UCP. No, I'll campaign against that. But I'm also going to campaign against Danielle and her position that we should stay in Canada. So
Correct.
You see how you can do two things at once. I can still support her in her role right now, but I don't have to agree with everything she does, and I will campaign against that. And I already put out some little soundbite saying, hey, I'll debate you on that anytime, any place, because you're a very intelligent, learned, political science-backed individual. I'm a literal nobody, and I think I could best you on the Alberta independence debate. So we'll see if she takes a challenge.
I love that. I think you'd have a really good shot at it, buddy. All right. Well, we'll see you next week, Chris. We'll see you next week, everybody. Have a good night.
Have a good night, everyone. Talk to you later, Lawrence.
See you later, buddy.
And yes, I'll do the Stumpy thing. Don't worry.
We need the Stumpy.
Yeah, here it comes. Here she comes. Meow. Jordan Peterson says in his book that the truth isn't always comfortable, but it's necessary. And I hope you folks can remember that. Good night.